I've went out and found some of the craziest 1-star disc reviews. Today, we're going to be putting those to the test. And while testing these 1-star disc reviews, I only have 2 rules. Number 1, I have to debunk the 1-star reviews. And number 2, I have to leave a 5-star review of my own. And so, first up on our list, we have none other than the Inova Dragon. Now, let's just get to reading some of these reviews. Mr. Peter writes, "This is used, not new. This arrived with dirt on it." Dirt? Really? How? Let's just hope that mine does not have dirt on it. And then Mr. Joe writes, 1 star, piece of crystal star. He goes on to say a lot more, but I don't know if we're going to be able to test all that. But best of all, Mr. Pope Alexander writes, 1 star, doesn't throw well at all. Usually impressed by this brand, but this one is a dud. And then the rest of them just complain about the color and how this disc did not float. Let's get to testing. And so, with our first disc, we have 3 things to debunk. Number 1, is it used? Number 2, is it a dud? Or, in other words, a piece of crystal star. And number 3, does it float? So far, the Dragon is not a piece of crystal star. Oh yeah, and there was absolutely no dirt. This thing is as shiny as can be. Oh, that's buttery. So far, the Dragon has beat all allegations. Not a dud. But that still does leave one question. Does it float? I would say quite nicely. It's even making its way to the bank. I think all the 1-star reviews have been busted. Let's go ahead and leave our 5-star review. And so, for my 5-star review of the Dragon, arrived nice and shiny, no sign of dirt, floated like a butterfly, never hit trees. Some say it's a dud, oh brother please. It's a great disc. 10 out of 10, recommend. And if you thought those were crazy, you won't believe some of these next reviews we have coming up later in the video. But now, on to the next one, the DX Destroyer. For our first review, again, because of color, Mark says, I got yellow, the only color I hate. I really hope mine's not yellow. Yellow does suck. Sorry for all of you that like yellow. But then with the next review, SFM says, has trouble landing. Has trouble landing on the ground. Is thrown in the air and it got stuck 3 times. B4, I 3 this one in the mulch pile for good. There's so many things to unpack in this. So is he getting it stuck in trees or is this disc just flying forever? I'm not quite sure what he means. I think he means it's getting stuck in trees. But I think it's even funnier if he's just saying that it flies forever. Just doesn't come down. So we're gonna roll with that one. But then lastly, probably the craziest of them all. Mr. Seth writes, good flight but bad plastic. The disc flew amazing for the first few throws, but was destroyed in less than 9 holes. Would 100% buy this again in a pro style plastic, but whatever plastic they are using on the disc they sent me got eaten up quicker than Cheetos by a stoner. What? Quicker than Cheetos by a stoner. What a wild thing to say on a disc review. But I guess let's see what color I got. Please not yellow. Red and gold even with Iron Man on this thing is sick. I've literally got the Iron Man Destroyer. But we're back here in the woods, so let's see if this gets eaten up quicker than a stoner eating Cheetos. And so that brings me to our things to debunk. Number 1, don't get yellow. Which, as we've already seen, we got red and gold, so debunked. Number 2, get this thing to land on the ground. And number 3, last longer than the Cheetos. Go ahead and go in the bucket, why don't you? Oh, frick. That might have just gotten eaten up by that tree. All right, so we hit this tree, but not a single nick on this. I would say by this point, we're outpacing the Cheeto eating stoner. Pretty tight gap, another chance for Mr. Iron Man to get eaten up here. Unscathed. No! Okay, this thing cannot putt. Can't lie. My man that was saying this thing does not come out of there definitely was not putting with it. This thing doesn't fly on a putt. It's like putting with a brick. A really, really sharp brick. Now I would say Stoner has probably finished a bag of Cheetos by now. So we have outpaced the Cheetos. Now for the moment of truth. Can we get it to land on the ground? Well, it's not looking like anytime soon it will. Looked like it landed on the ground to me. I'd say that's busted. And now it's time for our 5-star review. Perfect Iron Man colors. Almost thought the disc would never come out of the air. Eventually it did, thankfully. Even after hitting multiple trees, it has still lasted longer than a stoner's bag of Cheetos. And as if those reviews weren't crazy enough, let's get into our last set of reviews. So, our third and final disc is going to be the Latitude 64 River. Review number 1, Mr. Jake with a 1-star review says, not worth it. Had the disc 1 week, hit an obstacle once with the disc, crumbled and lost an 1/8 of an inch on one spot. So disappointed. An 1/8 of an inch? Why so specific, Jake? Jake's out here with his calipers measuring how big the dents are in his disc. Mr. Peter with a 1-star review says, cannot throw. Hard a heck to get it straight. I don't care how good you are. According to Mr. Peter, this disc does not go straight. Don't care if you're Paul Macbeth, you're not throwing this disc straight. Then with our final review, Mr. Garrett says, Frisbee sucks. Overall, this Frisbee sucked. A little too wobbly for my liking. Boy came out the gate so strong with the all caps, Frisbee sucks. But then he ends it with a sophisticated, little too wobbly for my liking. Garrett, bro, you're all over the place. And so now it's time to debunk. Thing number 1 to debunk, will it crumble after one throw? Number 2, can we get it to go straight? Thing number 3, is this disc wobbly? I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and assume that Garrett was throwing this thing on a forehand if it was wobbling for him. So, let's see if it was Garrett or the disc. No wobble. Went pretty straight too. We might have just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So we hit this obstacle with it. Definitely don't have an 1/8 of an inch missing on one side. Maybe Jake just got a cannon on him. That boy chunking it. I don't have my calipers on me, but I wouldn't say that's an 1/8 of an inch. All right, just for scientific purposes, we're gonna say that last throw wasn't straight enough. So we're gonna see if we can get this to go dead straight. I genuinely don't think it gets any straighter than that. That was first take. I thought I was gonna have to throw this throw 30 times. I would say Mr. Peter's review is busted because I'm not that good and I got it to go straight. And now for our last 5-star review. No dents, flew straight as an arrow if I'm being honest. It had the perfect amount of wobble for me. That's gonna wrap up the video for today, guys. Let me know down in the comments what 1-star things I should review next. And if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.